Could a tiny home cut your housing costs, simplify your life, and still feel safe and comfortable? Across the country, seniors are discovering that it can, and in some cases, they're even living rent-free. From Texas to New York to Oregon, new tiny home villages are offering affordable, community-driven options that give retirees independence without breaking the bank. And in today's video, I'm walking you through how these communities work, what they really cost, the benefits and trade-offs, and even how to find programs that offer reduced or free rent tiny homes. Why tiny homes appeal to seniors. So tiny homes are becoming especially popular among older adults for three big reasons: affordability, right sizing, and community. So first, let's talk about affordability. Rising housing costs and fixed incomes just don't mix. Tiny homes offer a chance to live comfortably on a smaller budget. Second, right sizing. You keep what matters, shed what doesn't, and make every inch of your home work for you. And third, community. Tiny home villages are popping up everywhere, giving people the social connections they often miss after retirement. So let's dive into real examples and see what these communities actually look like and what life is like inside of them. Real-world case studies. The Bird's Nest in Cumbie, Texas is a perfect example. A 70-year-old woman built it with her retirement savings with 14 tiny homes designed specifically for women aged 60 to 80. Rent starts around $450 a month, which includes utilities. It's zoned like an RV park, and it already has a wait list of more than 500 people. Residents share meals, car rides, and friendship. It's affordable living and community support all in one. In Troy, New York, city officials approved the development of 86 cottage-style tiny homes for adults 55 and up. Each unit is between 500 and 800 square feet, and rents are projected between $1,700 and $2,000 a month. Yeah, it's higher cost, but turnkey living with maintenance included. Completion is set for 2026. And in Medford, Oregon, the Joy community provides 10 long-term tiny homes for older adults who were previously homeless. Rent caps out at about $500 a month, and the community partners with nonprofits for meals and transportation. And in Sacramento, California, the city is building micro-communities of tiny homes for seniors, where rent is income-based and on-site services include social workers and healthcare outreach. So from $450 pad rent to $2,000 cottage rentals, it's clear that tiny homes are flexible. Your cost depends on the location, zoning, and who's developing the project. Affordability, financing, and what to expect. So let's talk the numbers. So on the low end, some tiny home communities rent lots for around $550 a month, including water and septic, reports The Sun in Tennessee. And if you decide to buy, the cost of a tiny home shell plus finishes usually runs between $30,000 and $150,000, depending on size and materials. Nomadic Structure says that many seniors finance through RV loans, personal loans, or home equity lines, since most mortgage lenders don't yet handle tiny homes. For example, a $60,000 home financed over just 15 years can mean a payment of only a few $100s a month, depending on credit and rates. Add a $500 pad rent and you're still potentially under $900 monthly for housing, utilities, and community life. Now that's far below what most seniors pay for traditional rent or assisted living. Right sizing, the lifestyle shift. Beyond the cost, there's something life-changing about right sizing. Take Kathy and Jim from Durango, Colorado. They built a 28-foot, 300-square-foot tiny home to simplify their lives and escape rising housing costs. They say that the smaller space keeps them active, forces creativity, and gives them freedom. And many seniors echo that sentiment online. For example, in Reddit threads, people talk about feeling more lightweight, less stressed, and more connected to nature when living tiny. And tiny homes also use about 80% less energy than traditional housing, meaning lower bills and a smaller environmental footprint. In short, right sizing isn't just financial, it's emotional and mental too. You're surrounding yourself only with what you love and freeing up energy for living, not maintaining. The community experience. So what's the best part about tiny homes? It's that you don't have to do it alone. Tiny home communities are designed to foster connection, not isolation. For example, in Olympia, Washington, Quixote Village provides 30 permanent tiny homes for adults, many of them older. And each resident has a private space but shares a community building for meals, laundry, and events. This project has reported a dramatic drop in loneliness and depression since residents have moved in. And in in Detroit, Cass Community Social Services is building 25 tiny homes for seniors and low-income adults. After 7 years in the program, residents can own their own homes outright. Studies show that social engagement among older adults can reduce the risk of cognitive decline by up to 26%. So beyond saving money, you're gaining something priceless: purpose and companionship. Trade-offs, risks, and what to know. So let's be realistic. Tiny homes aren't perfect, and they do come with their set of challenges. For example, zoning and permits. Some cities still treat tiny homes as RVs, not permanent residences. In one case, a North Carolina resident had to move her tiny home after a zoning dispute. There's also the reality of limited space. For example, Reddit is full of threads where people admit they underestimated how little storage they'd have. One user said, "After 6 months, I realized I own too many shoes and not enough shelves." And there's also the consideration of financing and resale. Because tiny homes are often considered personal property instead of real estate, mortgage lenders won't finance them, and resale markets are still small. They may depreciate like RVs rather than appreciate like homes. Also consider climate and comfort. Extreme cold or heat can be an issue if insulation isn't top-notch. In one blog, a homeowner in Minnesota reported struggling with frozen pipes in winter and high humidity in summer, both of which are fixable but expensive to retrofit. And let's not miss out on discussing the community fit, because not every neighborhood wants tiny homes. Some HOAs or neighbors push back against them, claiming they lower property values. For example, a Facebook developer trying to start a senior tiny home park said, "Its biggest hurdle isn't money, it's local approval." So these challenges aren't deal breakers, but they're important to plan around. Now let's talk about how to get started. Here's a 6-step action plan to get the process rolling. Step 1, define your goal. Is it affordability, family proximity, or community living? Your reason determines your best path. Step 2, call your local planning office. Ask, do you allow tiny homes or accessory dwelling units, and what permits or hookups do they require? Step 3, make a short list of communities or builders. Search tiny home village for seniors near me. Check out models in Texas, New York, or Oregon for inspiration. Step 4, get 3 quotes. Compare pad rent, full cottage rental, and backyard ADU builds. Step 5, explore funding options and benefits. If you're low income or retired on Social Security, call 211 to see if there are nonprofit or city programs that support senior housing. Step 6, visit communities before committing. Talk to residents about what it's really like day to day, such as the noise, rules, and community involvement. Free or reduced rent opportunities with tiny homes. Now let's talk about the exciting part. Yes, it is possible in some places to live in a tiny home with reduced or even zero rent. For example, in Detroit, Cass Community builds tiny homes for low-income and senior residents. They rent at affordable rates, and after 7 years, residents can own them outright. Also in San Antonio, the Town Twin Village project offers over 100 tiny homes and apartments for people 50 and older, many of whom were previously homeless. Rent is on a sliding scale, and those with no income can qualify for full subsidies. And some individuals have found creative ways to live rent-free. For example, a YouTuber named Jenna Spessard lives mortgage-free in her tiny house by exchanging light work at an RV park for her land spot. Her total monthly expenses, about $132 a month. There's also church groups, nonprofits, and even city pilot programs that are beginning to build tiny home villages with similar goals, offering housing at little or no cost for seniors on a fixed income. So if you're interested, call 211, contact your local housing authority, or search Tiny Home Senior Village plus your city. Ask whether they have reduced rent or volunteer-based programs.